Welcome to the In Season podcast, rated R for language.
None of us are doctors or neurologists. The things you're about to hear are opinions of people living with epilepsy or seizures. These are firsthand experiences. Epilepsy can cause speech problems, and the medications are hard to pronounce. So please bear with me.
Epilepsy can cause bad memory, so some stories will be repeated. I'm Pookie. Get ready.
But I do have something here. It says, any ideas? This is definitely a shot in the dark, but it isn't that what Reddit, but isn't that was what Reddit is for. 3 years ago, I had a grand mal seizure and it hasn't happened since until April this year. And it's happened 3 times in a row now. My neurologist doubts epilepsy, but an MRI was completely clear. My first EEG. I have another one coming up. Was also unassuming. Any ideas on a possible cause? I can answer questions in the comments and elaborate as much as needed. I'm concerned because I haven't been able to drive because of this, and I've been negative impact on my life in that way. My neurologist thinks they could be stress related, which would make sense. I'm under a lot of stress. I think possible causes could be marijuana use, excessive energy drink consumption, and lack of good sleep. Thank you for reading, and advice is needed. I don't think it's the weed.
What? Okay, so what happened? I was trying to concentrate really, really hard, and I couldn't do it.
Hasn't had a seizure since said 3 years, and then April had one, and then 3 since. Doctors telling him he's doubting the epilepsy. Yeah.
Even though there's been 3 seizures in 5 months. So that's questionable. Second opinion. Don't just trust that they tell you it's stress, then it won't happen again. Especially if you have a history.
Know your body. And comments here. One says having 2 or more unprovoked seizures is considered epilepsy. Many epilepsy patients have clean MRIs and EEGs. You might benefit from seeing an epileptologist, a neurologist that specializes in epilepsy. You're on an anti-seizure medication, right? Just a heads up, most epilepsy patients don't find a, in quote, a cause of their seizures. There's things you can do to minimize the seizure threshold, such as maintaining adequate sleep, managing stress, avoiding drugs and alcohol, taking prescribed medications correctly. Another response, I've been experiencing seizures for the last 5 months, and they are triggered by strong emotions, being startled and losing balance. I have inner ear damage. I'm currently in the process of excluding epilepsy as a cause. During my EEG, I seized during one of the strobing patterns. I suspect I have psychogenic seizures that are stress-induced. That's the first person I heard talk about the seizures with the photogenic. Are any of you guys photogenic?
No, I had a weird incident the other day, though, when I was trying to take my wife out to brunch, and it wasn't photogenic, but we were sitting at the table, and the way the sun hit the ceiling fan blades, it was making a flash on the walls, and that almost set me off, and we had to leave. But I don't know if I'd consider that photogenic.
Lights give you migraines?
Sometimes, yes. It's mostly like the old school yellow lights, like the crappy ones. Like you remember the old school like wood panel walls, like 70s wood panel walls, like those types of yellow lights.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they said it might be energy drink consumption and all that stuff, like good sleep.
Yeah, those energy drinks are sketchy.
Yeah, energy drinks. Those were making me have more seizures when I was on, what was it? Briviact.
Oh, hey, I just started Briviact.
Well, those
Yeah.
are
What
those are
sort
uppers
of
for your
uh,
heart
Okay.
rate and everything else. So energy drinks
Friend,
are dangerous.
friend, message from your friendly neighborhood toaster. When it comes to energy drinks, the big thing that most people mistake is that they only drink energy drinks. And well, and it's kind of weird because energy drinks, mom's already shaking her head. Katie's already shaking her head. She's like, that's a no. Um, but if you only drink energy drinks, you're actually going to have the opposite effect of what you are looking for. Because if you overload yourself with salt, you dehydrate yourself. It's weird, isn't it? So always drink normal water and like
In a way.
balance. It's a balance. It's a balance thing. Kitty.
Yeah. This
Okay,
one's mine.
Mr. Thorne. What's his name?
This one is Shippo.
Hippo?
No, Shippo. Like
Shippo.
Shippo. It's from an old anime, Inuyasha.
I know this.
Mm-hmm.
Memory Spark. Yes. She's a cutie.
Yeah, it's a boy. His brother's somewhere.
Boy, sorry. He's a
Yeah.
cutie.
Yeah, his brother's over there. I'm still in the process of unpacking, so the place looks like crap, but he's over there.
Hey, congratulations on the new place.
Yeah. We've had it for a minute. I've just been unmotivated.
you can just blame the seizure meds.
Yeah. I can't even do that to myself. I've been trying to tell that to myself, and I can't even do that.
No, I mean the fatigue. I mean it's not just physical fatigue. I experienced the mental fatigue and overcoming mental inertia. Yeah, it's don't beat yourself up too much.
Maintain a balanced diet. You'll still find the motivation.
Yeah, I've been trying to do a lot of fruits and like nuts and stuff like that. I was told by my doctor not to have like big meals, but kind of more or less kind of like snack throughout the day and have your meals, but don't load up.
And that is a perfect theory if you can stick with it.
Yeah.
Nobody else is just like hooked on soda, right?
I'm not
I
actually
didn't think
big
that was possible.
I know one person, I hope.
I do like a Dr. Pepper once in a while.
I will drink as much Mountain Dew as is made available to me, and that goes doubly so for Mountain Dew Code Red. It is
yes, but you're not diabetic, are you?
It is almost pathological. It is like I want to be diabetic. I will drink that much.
When I was a teenager, I like what's that one? The Voltage Mountain Dew?
Oh,
gray purple one?
The purple one,
Code Red.
the bluish purple one.
Yeah.
Oh, Code Red must have been later.
Code Red was introduced in 2001. It's the longest running Mountain Dew flavor aside from the original Mountain Dew, which, by the way, was invented originally as a mixer for moonshine whiskey.
That I knew.
I did not know that.
What I was gonna say was about the soda too, because I usually don't drink soda. I usually drink all water. but today I had a Sprite, and it doesn't have caffeine in it, so that was a thing. Like I didn't have the caffeine part, so is soda just as bad because without the caffeine? Is caffeine the reason people don't drink soda?
It's the sugar.
Sugar?
It's the sugar.
Both.
Well, yeah,
There's
okay,
a
both.
lot of people. There's a lot of people who really like strongly, vehemently avoid caffeine, and to those people, it's. But I mean, coffee has a lot more caffeine than even an entire can of Mountain Dew.
But does your
But
gut suffer as badly with less artificial sweeteners? You know, the caffeine
Probably.
and the artificial sweeteners. So some
I
people
drink
can
the
withstand the
sugar,
caffeine, but
drink the sugar version.
Oh,
No
for
diet, artificial sweeteners.
yeah, for Rick, you pronounce my name Achilles. It's from a yeah, it's from a book by Brent Weeks.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, it's a book series. They actually he just came out with a new one last year. So there's 4 books total, and then he has another series as well.
Oh, very cool.
What
Yeah,
genre?
so fantasy.
Okay.
Mhm.
What type of fantasy?
So the one series this name is from, it's about like magic and assassins. And then the other one, it's about like mages
Hey,
where
Jeff. Peace
yeah,
out.
where they get their powers from the color in their irises.
Okay, now that has intrigue. Okay, so let's say Pookie has brown eyes.
Hmm.
Pookie has brown eyes. So what power does he have?
So he would have like over the earth and things like that, and different tones. Different tones give you powers over different branches of elements and things like that. And there's like basically like their chosen prophet is someone with like prismatic irises and things like that.
You were sending me the name of these books.
Yeah.
I'm going to the library soon.
Yeah.
I was assuming
Please.
since
It's
your
put a please in there.
1992 was in your name, you're born in 92.
Yes.
The post says, auras, what are they? I have seizures and I get very odd feeling before it happens, but have no way of explaining it apart from it feels like deja vu and I feel a little sedated. And I guess I can.
hey, now we're testing out a trigger. See if
What
those
are
words
they?
can bring it back.
Sorry, I'll be careful.
The person
Hey, guys.
says,
I'm gonna take the dog out, so I'm gonna hop off, and then we'll watch some TV with my wife before I try and head to bed because it's getting late over here. I'm 2 hours ahead of you guys.
oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, 2
All
hours
right,
ahead.
glad you joined us. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, yeah. I'll probably join again with you guys on Friday as well.
All right, we'll be
See you
here
then.
every Tuesday and Friday until the end of time.
Nice to
All
see
right.
you.
Hi,
All right.
everyone.
Night. Have a great night.
Can you guys explain auras? That's what
Never
they're
had auras,
for.
but it sounds like they're rarely even considered. Like you said, it was always assumed to be a precursor to a seizure. So a lot of people think of them as less severe, nothing to even mention or record to the doctors a lot of time.
I
But it's
rather
definitely something to
have
make note of.
hell no. I'd rather have a fallout seizure, tonic-clonic, grandma, whatever the hell you want to call it, than that doom feeling.
Yeah. Now when I think about it, I think that's happened to me maybe like 2 or 3 times, not too many. But I think I do remember going through some emotions like that, and I thought it was emotional, and I thought I just needed to get away from people. I went through a situation like that before. It just all came back to me when I started thinking about it, the impending doom. Yeah, I had that feeling after I filmed the deep fryer at Krispy Kreme. Very not cool. Not cool at all. Can you explain your auras? Anybody?
Are you sure it might be triggering?
Go ahead. I was just playing. I'm not triggered easily.
Well, you got the sense of impending doom. Before my surgery, though, I would have visual and auditory hallucinations. A lady wearing a pinstripe suit and the sound of the ocean, followed by people saying, "The Taco Man is coming! The Taco Man is coming!"
Or an Alice in Chains zoomed in with a crucifix and a medical tag.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, rock on.
Rick, what were you gonna say about auras?
I was
Oh,
gonna
did I cut
say
you off? I'm sorry.
you did not. It's okay. All I did was raise my hand. It didn't start yet. So my auras were I would get sweaty, feel like really hot all of a sudden, and almost ready to collapse. Like my legs decided to turn like all like loose that I was gonna fall. And I guess the best way to describe it is people around me, it would sound like they were underwater and far away. Um, and like even like dog barking sounded like he was distant, and it was just very distorted sounding. And everything seemed to slow down. Like if I heard a clock, it would go swoosh, swoosh. And within like 10 seconds, felt like 10 minutes, it was gone. But nobody knew what was going on around me. And I thought it was very obvious. I was sitting at a dinner table once with my sister and a bunch of people around, and it hit. And I thought for sure, like, oh, here we go. I'm going to hear it. And they just kept talking and nobody noticed. I'm like, oh, okay. So that's my auras.
Welcome back, Andrea. We got an icebreaker today.
And
I'm
welcome
just
back,
kidding.
Jason.
Jason, you there? Jason's probably asleep.
Oh,
Yeah, it's bedtime
I
for
was gonna
Jason.
say I'm here. I'm just having technical issues as usual.
All right, it's good to know.
I'm
It's
here.
technical and not you.
Oh, I'm here. I'm here. Just like I'm here. Just like I've been like on my, I've been in my bed for literally like almost like 2 hours and just took a nap. So I just woke up from it too.
I've been in this chair for almost, what is it? Almost 7 hours.
7. Yeah.
It's getting rough. I got a back
Welcome back.
massager on the chair, luckily. I love it, you guys. It's great. But I got something here. Since I feel like Alice, trying to figure out what kind of seizures or auras I'm having, feels like I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole. I barely understand what's going on, and I have to, by somehow, explain this to my neurologist in August. I already feel like he's dubious of my other symptoms after just one appointment. Every test seems to come back in quote normal, even though I know something is definitely not normal. How do you convince your doctors that you're going through something, not making things up for the hell of it? I tried twice to talk to my doctor about how I thought the tenazidine he prescribed was making things worse. Left messages for the nurse to call me back, but they never did. I was taking the meds 3 times a day, but I've weaned myself off to just once a day. How can I figure out what's wrong with me if he only will see me every 3 months and doesn't return phone calls? I really feel like none of my doctors give a crap. There was a few questions in there, a few question marks over here and there. So if you guys caught any, what do you do? How can
I
we
take
figure out what's wrong if you only be able to talk to him every 3 months and he doesn't return calls? There was a few questions. If you guys caught any, please.
Go ahead, Andrea.
I was just gonna say I take tenazidine or tizanidine Is that what it was? Tizanidine or tenazidine?
Tenazidine.
Oh, okay, because I take tizanidine. That's
Oh no,
they all
it's Tizanidine. However you say it.
Tizan.
Yeah, Tizan.
Okay, yeah,
Tizanidine.
that's a muscle relaxer that I have taken for my back for years. And
Ooh. Mm.
I don't know. They've never said anything about it with my seizures. And it hasn't been unusual at all for me to only see my doctor every few months.
Tizanidine. Said it.
You did. Good job, Piggy.
Yeah.
There you go, 10 points.
It's
So at the risk of
medications
sounding
and
harsh, it's kind of a get used to it on this one because, like Andrea said, it's not unusual at all to not speak to a doctor or like any of the staff less than every 90 days, even when you're starting a new medication or they, switch up the treatment. That is not at all unheard of. If you want a more involved practice or somebody, one where you can get a hold of somebody on patient portal or, a nurse line or something, get another opinion. Maybe bring your PCP on with, these kinds of treatments. Just let them, call the office, let them know that this is the medication I've been prescribed, but I might not be able to get a hold of the neurologist office on the weekend. So, sometimes from what I remember at other facilities, the primary care was more likely to have somebody accessible more often than the specialist office, even though they're not, there for anything but, some reassurance or answering basically emergency questions. It might be what you need if you're in one of those areas where you can't get another neurologist right now and just need that support from a medical professional. So if you can't get a new doctor, otherwise, definitely try to get a specialist who you feel like is attentive to your care, because that is what you deserve and what you need.
I didn't understand when he said he feels like Alice. What is Alice?
Like Lost in Wonderland, maybe?
Oh, Alice in Wonderland. Oh, that was the last thing that came to mind. Alice in Wonderland.
Nah, Alice in
Yes.
Chains was on your mind, that's all.
It never occurred to me before just now, but is the Alice of the band name supposed to be Alice in Wonderland?
No,
Is it a literature reference?
that was the caption. I feel like Alice.
Alice
no,
is
I'm
supposed to be a
just
poetic reference to the sweetness and beauty of the lead singer Lane Stanley's name, and a poem by his mother, contrasted with the band's name Chains to evoke their dark heavy metal style. Name originated from Stanley's earlier band, Alice in Chains, which was formed from a backstage pass referencing Alice in Wonderland and a desire to put her in bondage, which eventually led to the name.
very cool.
I like learning stuff. That's something great to know. Hopefully, I'll use it one day. One here says, "Oh, was I having seizures? So I'm 18 and I haven't had seizures that I know of, but but I haven't recently started smoking weed. My girlfriend is 21 and has been getting weed from a dispensary, and we've had that a lot here in Colorado, so I know it's safe and not laced or anything. And I've been perfectly fine using pipe to smoke or just not having it too fast. Also, I have a history of low blood pressure, and I also likely have POTS. Just haven't got it diagnosed. For the first time, I think I had a seizure when I hit the bong and I got too high. I felt out of it, and it was like things were happening in stop motion, but I don't remember muscle jerking for that one. I was aware of the entire thing and just kept forgetting everything every 5 seconds apart. But the second time, I was more aware of my symptoms because I wasn't just freaking out. I was wondering what was going on. This time I hit my girlfriend's pin, but tried hitting the blinker. Dumb, I know. Anyway, we went out to eat and then it started happening again, where I could hear just fine, but things I was seeing happening after I heard it. Then my legs and arms were jerking, which I'm used to. I do it this sometimes before I sleep, but I couldn't stop my legs from jerking. And then my brain felt like it was just being grabbed and squeezed. I didn't hurt, just felt pressure. Side note, when I got home, my cat was very concerned. Maybe I didn't feed her, but she also stayed with me in bed the whole time I slept. Was that a seizure? Or is that
Definitely need more context on that one because it might be worth looking into if it happens again and more than once. That could just as easily have been zoning out when you're bored. I don't know how to describe that one. What do you think?
It could have been just greening out because he said they went to the limit. I'm guessing that meant because a lot of vape pens have a limit of how long you can go before they stop.
they do?
At least I thought so. Mine does.
Mine has a number, and each second the number goes up. I don't know if there's a certain amount of seconds because I only got to like 4, but
8 seconds.
Eight
Yeah,
seconds.
most of them, they should have a timeout to stop the coil from burning out or from burning your oil.
What did I miss?
Pookie took a monster hit from the vape pen and had to step away to cough.
Understood. Next post. Clumsy. Does anyone feel extremely clumsy at all times? I know that seizures can mess with you a lot and meds slow your brain down, but I'm a hot mess. For example, today at the grocery store, dropped an entire case of eggs and then I slipped on them and fell. Then I forgot my wallet in the car, had to run and get it, only to find that I had it in my purse the whole time. Then I spilled my entire iced coffee all over the poor cashier and the cash register. Now my doctors are going to double my dose to try and stop my increase in seizures. Send help to the Hot Mess Express over here.
Sounds like me at the grocery store.
But with the
I like
caffeine, I mean, you
that
bring in the
name,
iced
the Hot
coffee.
Mess Express. That's got a nice
Oh, that's another car.
a rhythm to it.
That's another one of
and-
Bookie's
and
cars.
The rhyming,
Oh, yeah.
that's a good wordplay.
That'd be a great shirt, honestly.
Oh yeah,
For
that
band
could be
name.
merch for sure.
Yeah, that'd be
Rick
good.
contributes Hot Mess Express attributes to a minivan. So the comments on Hot Mess Express are talking about, yes, I feel clumsy too. Tend to catch myself just before I'm about to drop something. The one thing that frustrates me to no end is when I go to pick up something, I have to grab at it 3 or 4 times before I can pick it up. I'm just grabbing air. My fingers are almost there, but I have to repeatedly try to pick it up. Anyone else have that problem? That's my
Wonder if that's
post-ictal
like
problem.
Yeah, I have a question. Anyone have things that just like phase through their hands, like it's literally in their hand one moment and clattering on the counter or the floor the next?
Not consistently, but that does happen with a lot of different things all the time. Charging like wires for the charger that
Oh, that happens to me in my post-ictal phases all the time.
So does anybody have the type of reflexes? I call them cat-like reflexes. My phone will stop dropping, so I go to grab it, but I actually slap it and it winds up hitting the wall really, really hard. So those are my cat-like reflexes that I've developed.
that's one of the biggest
No,
reasons I stopped getting the pills out of the pill bottle. That happened with the bottle, the medication bottle, too many times.
And does it always happen when you're over the sink and there's like a little bit of water in the sink? So like when your pills fall in there, now they're like, oh, now they're sitting in water.
The cat
Or
like
the washer.
non-reflexes. You just smack everything and throw it everywhere.
Yep. Yep.
No, I was actually as part of the neuropsych battery that they did that led to it was part of my initial investigation into seizures, but it ended up leading to my autism diagnosis, and part of that was they tested my reflexes as they described it to be that of an 80-year-old man back when I was 16 years old. So I have never had cat-like reflexes. I have,
That's
um,
interesting.
yeah, yeah. Um, it sucks for a kid at the time whose life was really just sucked into video gaming. Um, I was never going to be competitive in any multiplayer gaming, and but at least I kind of knew why. Medically there was a reason that I was always the loser at every party. Uh, Um, but
I'd give you a hug, but it sounds like you've come to terms with your childhood.
I'm okay with it. I like me now, and me now
I like
wouldn't
you now.
exist without that childhood then. So, it's the character building back then was worth it. Uh, but uh, I've never noticed any change in my reflexes, though. I think maybe because of that, I've always been so far at the bottom end of the reflex bell curve that any sort of drop or increase, anything at all is just kind of, well, he's still at the bottom 98th percentile. So, or the second percentile, I guess, would be the correct way to express that. Um, so, um,
I've always
that's
had
interesting. So,
fast reflexes, but poor coordination, if that makes any sense.
yeah, it makes sense. It doesn't work the other way around, though. You can't really be too coordinated if you're not also good at reacting to stuff to be coordinated for, you know. If you mess up, you're done. There is no reflex time to make up for any mistake. This is interesting. I'm going to be paying a lot more attention to how quickly I step out of the way when I drop something towards my toes, because that is the learned response. I will not catch it. Don't even bother. Just watch and make sure your toes aren't in the way if possible.
I got something here I thought was really interesting because I didn't know if I asked the question too, basically. It says, can you be diagnosed with more than one type of seizure? I'm diagnosed with TC in May 2024. Currently on Keppra, 500 milligrams twice a day. I guess what I'm asking is, can you have two different types of seizures? My partner is convinced that there is another seizure happening or a condition at night. Basically, if I'm really tired, just right before I go to sleep, I'll start jerking my foot and my leg in my whole body repeatedly for 10 minutes to an hour. I also let out little moans and groans. I've kicked and punched repeatedly in my sleep to the point to where my partner has gotten out of bed because it was too much and he had to sleep in another room. I've never wet the bed at night, but I've bitten my tongue. I've never woken up feeling stiff and sore like I do after a TC. Is it normal for people with epilepsy? Because we're having this at night doesn't bring on a TC. It's more persistent than TC. These nights episodes happen every night, almost every night. I feel like these nightmares episodes do not necessarily bring a TC because I have these episodes every night and I normally have only feel one. I miss my medication, take it late under high stress. Maybe this is just normal for people with epilepsy.
Missed medication definitely will cause some problems.
I
So
like
does the stress.
caption. The caption was really interesting, but can you be diagnosed with 2 types of epilepsy or more than one?
2 types of seizure? Yes, definitely. If that was the question, I don't know if they phrased it. I don't
What if
know.
you have
I saw
focal awareness?
Chester's head nodding. If there's something.
So if you have focal aware seizures, could you have a tonic?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
So they can label you as a oh man.
Yeah.
I have temporal lobe seizures and I have focals and I have tonic-clonics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. Me too.
it's weird. Sometimes the word epilepsy and seizures are kind of interchanged, even though they shouldn't be.
Right.
Like I have temporal lobe epilepsy, but I have both grand mal, tonic-clonic, whatever you want to call them, and focal seizures. I also may have catamenial epilepsy. That's something I'm going to be discussing with my um, neurologist next time I see her. But it's still epilepsy and still seizures. And it's still presenting in this side of the head, but catamenial epilepsy, it refers to when women seem to have seizures focused in on their cycle and their hormones.
So one of the comments here says, oh yes, even different types of the same kinds of seizures. My TCs are controlled, but I have focal aware seizures. But even with those, I have 4 types. The brain is so little understood. You can definitely have more than one type of seizure. My wife gets TCs, focals, and occasional petit mals. I get focals predominantly with occasional TCs, only one trigger. Triggered AFAIK, a fight.
As far as I know.
Huh?
As far as I know.
Oh.
You with these acronyms.
Yeah, I'm pronouncing it like it's a word. But AFAIN. And some petit malls here and there, basically.
Oh, okay.
So,
So they're just listing all the seizures that they think she has.
yeah, so we've come to the conclusion that yes, you can have more than one type of seizure.
I think
Job
they end up
change for
calling
the
that
seizure.
dual diagnosis though, if the sometimes.
Keep going.
That's the thing though, it wouldn't even be a different diagnosis. That's still the diagnosis of epilepsy. It's not a comorbidity, but you do have different kinds of seizures. They do come up with that really long on the chart or on the after the summary, the after visit summary, sometimes they do list a really long diagnosis for like the surgical consultations and ones like that. They're the ones who probably just come up with more diagnosis to be really specific, even though you're still being treated for epileptic symptoms. And seems like some specialists like to call it a different diagnosis. But I don't see the point if it's not, just for billing purposes. It's epilepsy, all kinds of seizures. Good to learn about all of them. What did some of those comments read?
Oh, you have comments?
Okay.
Oh, I thought you said you had comments from.
No, I can find another.
I got one. It says, has anyone else ever experienced seizures only around anniversaries or an emotional traumatic event? I've only experienced 4 grand mal seizures, and they've only ever happened a year after losing a very close family member, very unexpectedly. One not on the exact anniversary, but near. And then the next year experienced 3 near the anniversary date. I was then started on meds and have been having seizures, have been seizure free for 4 years. I've deduced from reading that I may have been experiencing partials for a whole year plus prior to my first grand mal, and that I was passing off as panic attacks since I had gone through something too traumatic. That made the most sense. But the way my panic attacks presented were also very similar to what I've read about partials and auras. I have also been free of those since starting medication. But the one thing difficult about how my anti-seizure meds also have an anti-anxiety component to them. Anyway, I'm very lucky to be seizure free, and I've adjusted very well to the medication, but I still wish to know more about them and their link to emotional trauma. It's hard to find much info on this. So around like holidays and stuff is what she's saying, like events coming up. Can you be anxious and have a seizure? Maybe that's what I was taking as. You to be anxious around that time.
Yeah, I mean, not only around that time, but I definitely have always, well, not always, but for a good while have felt stressed around the holidays, and stress can certainly lead to seizures. And I have cat, one of my cats passed away a couple years ago, and I had seizures right around the 2-year anniversary of his passing earlier this year. So I don't know. I mean, it may just have been coincidence, but that seemed like interesting timing. I think I had some around the 4th of July too. I don't know. I don't know why that would be stressful, but yeah, it's definitely possible.
And it doesn't always have an explanation. 3 ER visits on November 5th for me. No idea why. So it definitely, some people just have worse times of the
Or
year,
like
maybe, or worse months.
sequential. You said 3 ER visits on November 5th. Is that what you
Right. So it
said?
was every year from 2020 to 23. Yeah. Yeah, 2023 was the first year that I didn't go to the ER in November.
That is bizarre. I wonder if the anniversary of the first time is just enough of a special event for your brain to
I was definitely still
decide
paying
to
the bill.
throw you a party. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I was definitely still paying the bill from that first ambulance ride. So that could have been it. We'll see. I think collectors are still calling, so we'll see how that goes this year. Oh, helicopter ride. At the risk of triggering you, how much was that?
117,000.
That is terrifying.
Yeah, I'm still
Tell me you
paying.
got a picture.
No, I wasn't in the right frame of mind to get pictures.
Yeah,
They-
yeah.
I mean, I did have an
Didn't get a
argument as
good
they were
view
putting
or
me in there.
anything.
I was having an argument with them putting me in
Okay.
there, but
I don't know about
That's
the
the closest you got to
helicopter
a good
ride.
view.
The only
I don't know. I
comment,
would want to refuse that.
one of the few comments to the post about seizures around anniversaries, someone said PTSD type seizures. That would suck.
Yeah, I guess some people have repressed trauma around the holidays. They might not necessarily realize it.
Rick,
This
any
one
chance you got to
says,
rate that ride on Google or some kind of site?
I'm sorry, what's that?
What would you give them, like a 3 out of 5 stars on the
Uh,
helicopter?
well, it was actually a very smooth ride, so that might be a 4 out of 5.
So that's for the pilot, but the paramedics,
Yeah,
you know,
paramedics get a 3.
shouldn't get any more bruises.
Yeah.
Whether you're confrontational or not.
Right.
Well, glad you're okay. Especially glad you're with us now.
Thank you.
I got something. It says creativity and epilepsy. Would love to hear from others, especially those who've experienced their first seizures in adulthood. Do you think epilepsy awoken a creativity bone in your body? I think the part being alone and having more time alone made me a little more creative.
We have a lot in our group that are creative. So who knows? Maybe that's another common thread.
Tons.
All kinds of artists. What were you saying?
There's tons of creative people in here. Everybody amazes me. All the little things I keep hearing about that they do.
With creativity, for some reason, I went to the art store and I just got a bunch of paints and the things to hold the paint. Never got that before. I just always put some on a paper and do it. I got so much different paint, and my kids have used it more than me. But I actually did do a little painting. I did every now and then. But yeah, I did one project and kind of just let it. Didn't need all that stuff that I got. I went there and overdid it just because I was bored. And I was like, let me start doing some art. So to this comments in creativity and epilepsy, the first one says, I wish mostly just fucked up my life. Another one says, no, but I have less time and energy to pursue more intense activities. I value my creative outlets more now than I did prior to adult onset epilepsy. Is that actually a thing? Adult onset?
Just rarely diagnosed later in life. And if they diagnose you with adult onset, I think that insinuates that you actually developed it later. But 9 times out of 10, we hear it was diagnosed later, but they've probably been living with it for decades.
I was gonna say I wasn't diagnosed until 2020 and I'm, in my 40s. So But looking back, all the things I'm learning, I'm thinking, wow, that could have been seizure related. That could have been seizure related. I wonder about that. It's nothing definitive but just makes you think about it and wonder.
Well, I'm seeing now the adult onset epilepsy might be useful when the seizures are a result of like stroke or brain tumor, the traumatic brain injury stuff, and like those kinds of things where you know the cause of the epilepsy is a disease or a, you know, event.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that could be a thing. But check this out. It's saying that they begin with that diagnosis after the age of 20. It really
Or
do
over
think like
18.
I guess so.
If you're over 18, you're an adult. You're not a
Even in the
juvenile
medical
anymore. Bye
community.
bye. I'm not kidding.
Not allowed to put JME on the chart. Can't put juvenile anything. Guess so.
Yeah. A few more of these comments before we move forward. To the creativity in epilepsy. One says, I love to write. It fell below the wayside for a long time, but I'm back in action. Thanks to my friends who don't mind me playing around with their lives. Of course, you guys know who that is. Another one says, I have written poetry for years. Once I was diagnosed, experienced epilepsy, I ended up finding it to be a good source of inspiration for my poetry. I was the most overachieving, creative, and just all around awesome person. I'll brag, it's okay. Now, I'm lucky if I don't drool on myself today. I'm still cross stitching badly, if that counts. Yeah, that counts. Okay, you know how to cross stitch?
I did crocheting for a little while, but that's the closest I got to anything artistic.
What's the
Piano.
difference?
I like playing piano.
You like playing piano?
The only thing I remember from like 4 years of lessons is the Flintstones, but I did finish. I still know how to read music, and I can. I think I still have the sheet music from that song in the Titanic. Whatever that was, I knew how to play that when I was 12.
Okay.
So that might come back.
I'm trying to think of something. Yeah, you gotta teach me how to play the piano one day. Because I do want to learn how to play the piano on top of skydiving. But
I think I still have all the sheet music from what I learned. So we can check that out. What is the first song? I don't know. You guys
okay.
think music or art is more, I don't know, you just go through phases in learning it, or was everybody more inclined here to play music before doing art? Because those art supplies are expensive, so that's something it seems like might be a little more complicated to keep up.
Dollar Tree.
But then you end up getting the stuff that smudges. I feel like if you or the paint that's like watered down, or the what's it called? Those erasable
No,
markers, dry erase markers that just are faded when you get them.
nah, you gotta get the right paint. The one I have are perfect. I could paint a wall with this paint. But
Okay.
yeah, painted all kinds of stuff. Clothing. I don't know why. But
So was yours music or art first? Painting or music?
I think it was music first. I do have something. It says focal frequency keeps increasing. How do you treat yours? I used to get them once a month for several days. Then my neuro prescribed Klonopin to stop them. The drug works, which is great. However, now my seizures are coming once a week rather than once a month. Recently, my Venpat was increased by 100 milligrams. So now I'm on 400 milligrams, but I don't think it's doing anything. For focals, I take B12. My Nature's Made. Shout out to Nature's Made and their gummies. And yeah, check them out. My B12. Shout out to Nature's Made in particular. Yeah, I take them, and I haven't had focals in a really long time, and I stopped counting the weeks and months because I can't remember the exact number, so I don't know. Rick, you take Vinpat, right? Do you take Clonopin as well?
No, I do not.
What's your rescue man?
Sleep. Now I'm fortunate where the Vimpat's enough. I'm getting off of it because of the side effects, but I'm fortunate that I haven't had any breakthroughs. And I also take B12.
Shout out to Nature's Mate.
Yep.
One of the comments here says, take 3,000 micrograms of B12 daily. Have dramatically cut down my focals to almost none from 2 and 3 a week. Someone else says, some of my friends take B12, and I swear it cuts down on the frequency of theirs. I haven't tried it yet because mine are mostly catamenial right now, triggered by my period coming on. You said yours would used to be once a month. Did that happen to coincide with your menstrual cycle? Not sure if you're AFAB. I don't know if that is.
Assigned female at birth.
So the other person responded, I'm going to try the B12 because why not at this point? I thought mine was hormone related. I got them literally every 30 days or so. I take birth control pill continuously so I don't actually feel bleed. So it was hard to tell. This game isn't fun. The game we play isn't fun. Another comment says, everyone is different. For me, Klonopin is the answer. Why it has worked so long? I don't know. I don't have Klonopin. I have what's it called? Nasalium. And since I can't do it to myself, it's still here, unfortunately. EMU stay coming up. Any advice? This will be my third EMU stay. Last one lasted for 24 hours, 14 events, non-captured on EEG this time. I think it will be the same, but I am a bit nervous because I was taken off of the meds last year. My doctor wants to capture, in quote, bigger seizures. Thing is, lately, past 2 weeks, I have been feeling a bit better seizure-wise. Still having a lot, but not as many as they have changed. I don't want to open up Pandora's box. How did your EMU stay go? My EMU stay, I left. I don't suggest leaving.
Don't expect to remember the best ones because you'll be having a lot of seizures. I stopped taking the meds 2 days before check-in, so I made sure that they would get something on record, and that went well because I got plenty of seizures, enough that I didn't have to stay for more than 3 days. And that was enough for the surgical team to make their decision. So the more seizures you have, the better, even if that's never something you look to accomplish. It will actually feel like an accomplishment.
I have one that says, anyone stay on low doses of their meds? I'm recently diagnosed with focal seizures. They started me on Keppra, and though I was scared after, reading all the horror stories online of Keppra rage and brain fog, etc., I've been pleasantly surprised to find no ill side effects yet, and even say my brain fog and fatigue are lower starting since 2 weeks ago, possibly due to no longer having nocturnal seizures, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just one of the lucky few who tolerate Keppra well. Anyway, I'm currently on 500 milligrams a day, taken before bedtime each night, and overall I feel great. I don't think I've had many focals since I started it. I know it's not early. I could have one anytime. It's not working right now, and my stress levels are relatively low. So I was having only about 1 or 2 a week before Keppra, but the brain fog and fatigue would have lasted days after. So I was basically always tired and foggy before taking Keppra. And while working and during stressful times, I'd have multiple a week. Anyway, I just noticed a lot of people are taking 2,000 milligrams a day and more. So I'm wondering if there's others out there that maybe got to stay on a lower dose. I'm afraid of raising my dose or switching meds if my seizures start up again. I'm just pleasantly surprised to already be having relief on just 500 milligrams. Anyone else stick to a lower dose of Keppra other than an anti-seizure med? No. When I got off Keppra, it was straight to something else. That was it. I went straight from Keppra to lamotrigine, and there was no advice to titrate or anything like that I remember. I just remembered she said, "Don't take these, and I don't remember what happened either. But
The first round of Keppra, when that didn't work, there was just too many breakthrough seizures, so there was medications added on. Once I got to 3, they told me to get off the Keppra so I could increase the dose on other medications. The second time I went back on Keppra after the second pregnancy, they started at a higher dose, tried to increase in 1 month to get to 3,000, and I didn't like it. So did that for a year, added clobazam to that, found out clobazam was going to be a lot harder to get off of, so decided to down on the Keppra sooner. Once we had a shortage of clobazam or something made me want to stop taking the benzo as soon as possible, I went back to taking less and less of that every month. And now I'm on a low dose of Keppra all by itself and feel much better with it. I still feel the seizures that Keppra is accomplishing some seizure control, but without half of the negative side effects.
So at this point, then it sounds like you would consider the Keppra more of an adjunct.
Yes, I consider RNS the primary seizure control part of my treatment. Keppra is definitely a backup for, I don't know, I wouldn't even say whether it's for the focals or the tonics, because I'm definitely having a lot more focals than the generalized ones, but that is kind of where this is supposed to, the implant's supposed to do its part. So I guess safe to say Keppra is more for the partials, the focals. I can live with 4 a month. So my
4 a
version of
month?
controlled, yeah, my version of controlled might not be the same as everyone's, but they're less than 2 minutes at a time, and it's way better than it used to be, and somewhat predictable.
Government says I'm very
And that's my
confused.
first story.
I need help figuring out if I possibly had a seizure today. I can't remember specifics, times, order, symptoms, onset, as my head felt like it was stuffed with cotton and I was pretty disassociated. Anyway, I'm pretty sure the first thing to happen was what felt like brain zaps, but it was super strong. With every zap, it felt electricity was shooting through my head, down through my limbs, and each one was accompanied by a lapse in consciousness. That I'm pretty sure wasn't noticeable for those around me. It was almost as if I had a CD in my brain that kept skipping. At some point, I started feeling extremely anxious. Off as well, but I'm not sure when it got to its worst. I'm always anxious. I also started being less able to control my muscles, and walking felt very strange. I was having some trouble talking, forgetting words, stuttering, saying a word other than what I tried to say. Then I started getting involuntary muscle spasms, not large. They had pauses in between, etc. And it was basically just leg or arm doing something I didn't ask it to do every few seconds. It's been 5 hours, I think, since it started, and it's gotten better. Less intense, but I'm still getting zaps and I'm very shaky. Is this still feeling really off? It says the feelings of anxiety and doom are making it hard to seek out any help, but I'm doing my best. I don't know if that exactly sounds like a seizure. That could be a lot of things. This is
Yeah,
where you
the
got to know your body.
feelings sound more overwhelming. That's what they described the most. Was not the physical, but like the psychological feelings.
You guys want to know something really surprising?
I was hoping you guys weren't noticing that I was dozing off over here. Pick up, maybe do a morning show.
Please take your medication as prescribed or whatever works for you. We're not doctors.